By now, you probably see a trend. Fred Durst had his way with the Playmates, but his luck with Hollywood glamour girls was a little dicier. Fred flirted with Christina Aguilera. She gave him the cold shoulder in return. Then he was linked to Alyssa Milano, but their friendship vanished before he could even brag about it. But Fred made up for lost horn tooting in 2003.
Fred's fling with Britney Spears is really what put him on the map. There wouldn't be a love chain on Fred Durst without Britney Spears.
The whole Britney and Fred debacle started when she asked him to help her out on her new album, and he came into the studio and they started working together.
Fred having these public declarations about who he has a crush on. Here he is saying, you know, on his website, I have a crush on Britney Spears.
But Britney is hesitant to say that they actually are anything other than friends, and that kind of pisses him off. And so he goes onto the Howard Stern show and tells in graphic detail their love life, and talks about how trimmed she is or is not, and talks about places he's been on her. I mean, it was really bad.
As usual, while Fred glowed, his supposed love interest growled.
Britney went on TRL and denied everything. She denied everything. She said that she has no relationship with Fred, nothing.
I can tell you firsthand that I was at the Sundance Film Festival, and although Fred Durst may have thought he was with Britney at the festival, I can tell you that in almost every situation, Fred was on this side of the room, Britney was on that side of the room, Fred was staring at Britney, Britney was hiding behind a bodyguard.
After being snubbed by Britney, some say Fred made music about the pop star.
Fred capped off his relationship by writing songs about it. So when he was writing about Britney, he wrote a lovely song called Just Drop Dead, and then another one called Let Me Down.
Only Fred knows whether his ruthless lyrics were aimed at Britney. But the war of words continued to fly. Britney had some pointed words for the Freddie.
You better chill, dude, or I'm gonna get my people after you. So she was none too happy about that.
Eventually, cooler heads prevailed.
His publicist calls him, stop, enough, enough. And then he goes back on his website and says, okay, I'm stopping, enough is enough.
Definitely, you know, think she's special. But I don't think that we'll be talking anymore.
That might be best. In March 2003, Fred was briefly linked to former Spice Girl Jerry Halliwell.
Fred and Jerry met in California. She came here to kind of like reclaim some sort of celebrity status, and probably she saw Fred Durst as someone that could really raise her profile.
The couple was spotted together around LA, but Fred claimed he and Ginger were just friends. Apparently, Durst had his eyes on another dish. With Ginger in the rearview mirror, Fred declared his love for a new woman.
I think sometimes the best way to describe Fred Durst is to think of him as like a 16-year-old high school boy who kind of like develops crushes. His new thing is to go after, you know, Angelina Jolie.
I was very curious, intrigued by this woman's personality and her take on things and the way she's a mother, you know, I'm a father, and just different things, just because I felt that, you know, like you said, I wear my feelings on my sleeve.
The only problem is she never wants to speak to him. So he's been sending her love letters, emails, and she has wanted nothing to do with him.
I think Angelina Jolie should be my wife.
One thing about Fred, he has a short attention span. Fred next became fascinated with a 19-year-old rock rebel.
Fred did talk about Avril Lavigne. He announced how she's got a hot little body on her, and he said a few comments about her which are really inappropriate. She's a little young for him, but he's publicly said that he'd like to do dirty, nasty things with her.
Fred decides who he's going to date on any given month by going to the newsstand and seeing who's the latest girl.
I'm not trying to push myself on anybody, but what people should understand is there's layers to every human being.
Coming up, Fred performs mouth-to-mouth on an Oscar winner.
And they have to kiss for 45 seconds.
Plus, Fred holds hands with a new beauty.
It shocks everyone because the two just don't seem like they're fit for each other.